You know, it's funny, he was always around whenever we were working, but I never got to talk to him very much, oddly enough. But, yeah, sure, I used to see him around, and I always get the impression he's still here.
Jim Henson died May 16th, 1990. His illness was sudden. His death was a shock.
Oh, God. I mean, yeah. No, it was for all of us. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's hard to talk about.
Just 4 days before his death, Jim went with his daughter, Cheryl, to visit his dad in North Carolina.
He did get sick while we were down there. A little bit of a flu, a little bit of a cough, but he was feeling weak, but he wasn't feeling sick.
Jim came home and went to his New York City apartment to rest.
He had no idea how sick he was.
It seemed like it was a sore throat and a cough. And he decided to cancel a vocal session of Kermit because he didn't feel that he had Kermit's voice.
We were making jokes about the fact that, oh, I guess he's getting to be too big a guy to join us now, you know, because it's never done that, never, first time. I mean, I remember Jim, he had walking pneumonia, and we were shooting a commercial outside in the gas station 30 years ago, and it was 5 degrees, and he should have gone to the hospital, and he was still working, you know?
I had known Jim as somebody who just could not be held down. I mean, one time he had surgery during his lunch hour, you know, and came back and worked until 8 o'clock that night.
Jane Henson spent the last night of Jim's life with him and took him to the hospital the next day. Although they'd separated 4 years earlier, they never divorced, and they were still friends.
When we went to the hospital, he dressed himself and walked down. And actually, when we went to the hospital, the taxi took us to the wrong door, to the front door, instead of the emergency door, so we walked all the way around the block, which is a, you know, pretty long way around. So I don't think either of us thought he was that sick.
I think probably when he went to the hospital that night, he knew what was coming. I think when he coughed up a little bit of blood, I think he thought, how the heck did this happen? But I think it's happened, and now I think I know what this means.
Jim died only hours after arriving at the hospital. The cause was severe pneumonia. The hospital said that getting medical attention sooner might have saved his life. Could his Christian Science upbringing have kept him away?
We were all in the family, all of us, slow to go to see doctors. And yes, the fact that he was brought up Christian Science, I'm sure that had a lot to do with that attitude.
Jim Henson was only 53 years old.
His death was so shocking. It was just completely shocking.
It was just unprocessable. I just couldn't process it for a long time.
Now, those letters Jim wrote to his kids 4 years earlier were read.
It said to love and to care and to look out for each other and to enjoy life and to look around us, to be aware, to care more than anything else.
Jim also put his final wishes in the letters.
He said, have a party, and if you want anything traditional, I kind of like the way they do it in New Orleans, so use the Dixieland band to you know, play it in and play it out. And we did.
5 days after Jim's death, a memorial service was held in New York. All of his puppeteers performed.
They asked me if I would come to the memorial service and sing Kermit the Frog's favorite song, "It's Not Easy Being Green." And so I sang it, even though I'm yellow. It's not that easy being green, having to spend the day the
of the leaves.
I was so sad. It was hard to sing and not cry, too. But I made it through.
But would Jim Henson's Muppets live on? Jim was in the process of merging his company with Disney for a price of more than $100 million when he died. After his death, the deal fell through, and the Muppets stayed in the Henson family.
Jim died? But we were just starting to get to know him.
The Muppets paid tribute to their beloved Jim Henson in a television special. But one question remained. Would Jim's Kermit be there?
And if 4 whole people, why not more?
It took a while for us to decide what we were going to do with Kermit as the family. As just the family involved in that decision of how Kermit would continue and how we would do it.
Brian became president of his father's company, and the family decided that Kermit would live on. Steve Whitmire, a puppeteer who'd worked with Jim for many years, was chosen to take over the role.
It was really funny when I made eye contact with him that first time. It was like he was saying, well, come on, talk, you know, say something. And I just was freaked out. I couldn't do it. So I took the puppet and put it in another room, and I don't think I picked it up for about a month.
The reason Steve had a hard time was it's just not doing another character. He had to get in the soul of Jim to be Kermit.
And when all those people believe in you.
In the end, Kermit did appear with his friends once again.
Kermit is so much my father's character. Kermit was before the Muppet Show. Kermit was, you know, before Sesame Street. Kermit was the first character that my father really allowed to be himself.
It was terrific. You guys were great.
I think Steve does a wonderful job of Kermit, but it's not quite the same.
And maybe, even maybe.
Kermit, to me, will always be my father's Kermit.
And believe in you too.
Well, you know, it's funny about being a star. I don't really think of myself as a star. I'm just a very simple frog who's been very fortunate to do some fun stuff with fun people and make people laugh.
Sing, sing a song, sing out loud, sing it strong.
And my father, the glass was always half full. The world was always wonderful.
Not bad.
The same image that would depress somebody else was an image that he could delight in. The same circumstance that would frustrate somebody would tickle him.
Sing.
We've always done things that we liked. You know, we've tried to do a show appealing to ourselves and our own sense of humor, and so it wasn't like we've ever worked particularly for children or for adults. You know, just trying to do good entertainment.
Don't worry that it's...
I think Jim did make a contribution to puppetry in that you can approach it and do it in a successful way, that it can really appeal to everyone.
Jim, it has something to do with innocence in an era where there ain't much innocence anywhere.
He just wanted to do good stuff, really.
I think he liked birds. He was always very nice to me.
We miss him, the essence of him coming on the set saying, hi, how you doing, what's going on, that kind of thing.
I've never met anybody who quite saw the global family as one in quite the same way that Jim did.
He's in our collective memory. I mean, my generation and down to my daughters, thank God. Probably one of the great legacies any man ever left to children was Jim Henson's.
I think the world is, you know, very much a better place for him having been here and spreading that energy.
Life's like a movie, write your own ending. Keep believing, keep pretending. We've done just what we set out to do. Thanks to the lovers, the dreamers, and
Next week on People Profiles. Cher.
I mean, all of my careers have been a surprise to me. You know? I mean, you hope for it, but you don't, you know, it's not something that you think. And also, you go around telling everyone, I'm going to be famous, I practice my autograph, whatever. And, you know, and everybody thinks you're nuts, but I mean, kind of rightfully so.